got the idea to do a real hand so that they could actually see that bioengineering makes a difference in people's lives.
I think this is amazing.
Jacob Shepard on his new hand. Amazing. That's exactly what it is. What makes it move?
My wrist, like if I move it forward, the hand closes, and I move it back, it opens.
Jacob's 17. He'll be a senior next year and was born with an incomplete right hand.
I can do a lot of things by myself already.
He's learned to compensate. But teachers Janet Johnson, Kenneth Cole, and Jill Sandberg approached him with an idea. They had the 3D printers. Their students were learning how muscles and tendons work together, and they were going to 3D print a hand anyway.
I came into it with the mindset of I get to help all these kids see it in like an actual use, like school's actually doing something for someone.
Every summer that I was in middle school, she would take us, if we wanted to, go on the science trip during the summer and give us all these extra hands-on activities that you don't get in the classroom, and she took her time to do that. I think I really got a love and a passion for science, that indoors. I mean, I'm still trying to talk my family into doing an activity-based trip to Florida so I can go show them how cool this kind of stuff is, go dip netting, swim with the wildlife, go to these museums, because, people, they just don't think about that. But it's really something that I've grown very fond of, and I feel like that's because of Miss Johnson.
Okay, so what was the hardest thing to do?
Mrs. Johnson has just an unrelenting passion for teaching. Like, it's very apparent when being in her class. She really cares about whether her students are learning the material or not.
5. Yeah, you're now on a high 4.
That was never a high 5.
You can do a Roman high 5.
Yeah. Okay, so that's true. I hadn't thought of that. You said you could do a Roman high 5.
Oh,
Roman 5. The Roman 5 is the
high 5. Ethan came up with that.
I'm glad you didn't just take all the credit for yourself there. You attributed to your source. That's wonderful. All right.
She just, it comes naturally to her, I think. She has so much fun doing it, and I think that really helps the environment, like, as a whole. When a teacher is, like, just having as much fun teaching as the students are learning, that's just something you don't get really in any other class, I think. What I got from Mrs. Johnson's class was, it was like my first glimpse into higher learning, I think. Like, there's a lot of hand-holding that goes around in middle school a lot, but this class was, okay, it taught me to be independent. Like, it was my first, like, class where I had to be responsible, like, for real. So that was something that I learned that was going to take me through high school and help me succeed there. So definitely, like, a sense of responsibility.
Grabbing and controlling stuff without, like, it slipping and having trouble.
I want you to talk about it, Tyler.
Okay.
What are you doing?
So I'm doing a hand where it supports and comes up. So if he moves in different directions, the fingers will go down. And then you have a taco holder where the taco slides out so you can take bites. And then there's going to be a part where if he pushes to the right, the taco will slowly slide out. And then on this one, there's a ball thrower where if he pushes his hand down, the ball will fling out.
Thank you.
But when I talk about Janet, I don't really know where to start. There's so much to say about her. But the one thing that always comes to mind is that Janet is science. And I think about all the different science educators that I've worked with in the 30 plus years that I've taught. I always come back to that. Janet is science. She exemplifies everything that a science teacher needs to know and do in a science classroom. Janet is dedicated, she's committed, she works tirelessly to help prepare our students for the 21st century. And she does that by finding real-world problems for these students to solve and engage in.
Like to help make the fingers bend.
One of the things that I always do at the beginning of the year is I ask my students who they had as a science teacher in 7th grade, and just automatically, Ms. Johnson's students, they just raise their hand and they're excited and they're proud of what they accomplished in 7th grade by being in her class. And they know that they're ready for 8th grade. But one of the reasons that I know I get excited too when I see their hands go up, because I know these kids are critical thinkers, and I know they're independent workers, and I know they know how to problem solve. And so I know I get excited when I see these hands go up from the students in Ms. Johnson's. They're excited because they know they've had a great year in science, and we get to build on that and take that even to the next level. So it's very encouraging to have somebody that you work with prepare your students, and you have no doubts when they come to your classroom that they're ready for 8th grade.
I feel more confident because with hands-on, you can just get it done, ask a few questions, and there you are.
One of my 3 children that wasn't into science, and by the time she finished Miss Johnson's science class, she was loving it. And so that was really nice to know that she was enjoying the class, and mainly because of Miss Johnson's she's very interactive with all of the students and very hands-on.
Janet was born to teach. She has a sixth sense about it. She knows what is important for the kids to know and will always ask why and push them and make it relevant for the kids. This will help them in their later years to be able to take their experiences in the classroom and be able to use it outside of the school walls. That's her prime objective, and she lives to serve that motto every day.
Teaching to me is about the students, what they need to succeed. And that's why I became a teacher, is to help students find their way in the world. Students need guides, and they need mentors, and they need for the teachers that are involved with them to be very passionate in what they're doing.
I love science now. Biology this past year, that was one of my favorite things. I loved biology. And whenever we were doing all the human body systems, I knew from that point on that I want to pursue a medical career. And I am dead set on that right now.
But the problem with education is that it's hard to keep that passion because of all the negativity, the budget cuts, the larger class sizes, lack of materials, resources, and the negative attitudes of the public toward teachers. So within all of that, you've got to find a way to keep your passion and to experience that with students and to let them feel that passion, because that's where you make the most impact. Students need experiential learning, and they need to have problems to solve. Kids need service learning. They need to understand that they can change the world right now and do something that impacts their surroundings. And I think that's where students find their passion. When we talk about prosthetic hand, it's not about the hand. I can build a hand by myself. It's about making the students understand that what they do can actually make a difference, and that education is about making a difference in our world. And it's not about the knowledge that comes with it. That's part of it. But it's more, there's a higher purpose to it. And that's what we need to focus on. And that's where we get our students to buy in. And that's where we get teachers to buy in. Keeping your passion is very, very important. If you don't like what you're doing, change what you're doing. It's so easy to do. Find a service that you can provide for somebody else and do that. And that's where you can find the most passion in your teaching, is when you are helping the students serve others.
If you know Janet Johnson, you know what a huge impact she has on everybody that she's taught, everybody that she's worked with, and they leave you better. She's an advocate. She's an advocate for kids. She's an advocate for the teaching profession. She's an advocate for science. She's an advocate for her family. Having someone that has that type of drive, it's contagious, and you can sit back and enjoy it and watch it and go, wow. I just hope to be about 10% of what Janet is.